Hello and welcome to the End Step. Maria Bartholdi, joined here at the news desk by Rich Hagon and Luis Scott-Vargas. And what an amazing, incredible 2 days of magic it has been. The way we kick things off here is with card of the day. So Luis, what is it?
For me, it's Long Tusk Cub. This is the card that kind of dictates how the pace of the game goes if Team Energy is involved. It's all about, do they have the turn 2 Long Tusk Cub? Does the opponent have the Fatal Push, the Sensor, the Harness Lightning? If they don't, the game usually just ends.
We've had Long Tusk Cub, we had Search for Azcanta yesterday, and now we also have a player of the day. I wonder who it could be, but I don't quite know for sure.
Well, why don't we find out by heading down to our Brian David Marshall, who is with the player of the day. There you see the final four. William Jensen, Puzzle Quest. Then there's Channel Fireball's Josh Utter-Layton. You've got Javier Dominguez there in the red shirt from Team Harryuya, and Kelvin Chu, your final four, MTG Mint card. And yeah, I think they're all pretty happy about that. There's Craig Gibson, the photographer, taking the set for the final four. You'll see plenty more from the four of them coming in over the next 24 hours. Plus, of course, the team series, you'll get to see all of that as well. Team Masashi versus Team Genesis. So there we are. Luis, an amazing Final Four.
Yeah, this is a very strong Final Four. We actually also saw three different decks in the Final Four of the three decks that were in the field. So we're going to get to see Ramen Up Red, Blue-Black Control, and of course, Teamer Energy.
Surprising that, does that feel like a representation of the field as a whole?
Yeah, this is actually, the one thing that it is a little different is there's the fewest number of blue-black decks in the field, and yet they make up half the top four.
Okay, now why do you think that would be?
I think that Search for Azcanta really has overperformed, or at the very least performed to the pilot's expectations and overperformed relative to what everyone else thought it was going to do.
Looking ahead, which of these decks is kind of a standout for you if you had to make a bet for tomorrow?
I think that because Blue-Black was the least known quantity coming in, this is what's going to make more of a ripple leaving this tournament.
So tomorrow we're going to start with our team series, of course. That's Team Masashi against Team Genesis. We've deliberately not told you too much about that because we've been so busy through the weekend. But that could yet be the match of the entire weekend because you've got to have 12 of the best players in the world going at that one. So that's tomorrow morning. But for now, let's just look back a little bit at our match of the day today. That takes us back to limited Ixalan draft. Turned out to be full of awesome matches. Here's Tim and Riley to tell you a bit more.
A fantastic array of matches all day, but the one that we've picked out as our match of the day, it almost feels like a game of Magic the Puzzling, trying to figure out the details of how on earth the victory came in this one. It was in round 10, William Huey Jensen against Sam Black, and you know what? This one was an absolute belter. So close.
One for the ages, I tell you this much. I mean, you know, the board was stalled out. We had Black with a very powerful Dinosaurs deck looking to gum up the ground and then eventually push through victory with different cards that he could, you know, assemble a victory however he wanted. But, of course, Jensen had other plans in the form of Hostage Taker.
Yes, the very powerful rare in this set. Even with that on the board to take Bellowing Aegisaur, it was one of the most complicated board states you're ever likely to see in a game of limited or constructed. Do yourselves a favor, guys. Head back to the end of round 10, scrub back to 5 minutes before the end of the match, and see if you can find a way of winning. I would wager there's very few players on the planet that will be able to. William Jensen, well, he might have been one of them.
William Jensen. Now it's time for Player of the Day. Hey, BDM, who do you got?
You know, we've done it 2 days in a row. William Jensen, you're not getting bored with being Player of the Day, are you?
No, never.
So if we had to do it again tomorrow, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, tomorrow's the most important one to be Player of the Day on.
So, you know, you're looking down the barrel of, like, getting 4 different types of trophies.
Yeah.
You've won a GP, obviously. You've won a PT. You won a Masters Series, which is not something anyone else can do at this point. And now looking at becoming a world champion. Where does this rank in, if you'll pardon the pun, the pantheon of titles that are available for a Magic player to win?
I think in basically any competition, being world champion is the cream of the crop. That just means you are the single best, at least for that year or period of time or whatever. So, yeah, I would have to say, I mean, what could be better than being world champion?
Now, by all accounts, you were a little distressed coming into this tournament. Did you not feel like that this was what you were looking forward to?
Well, I was just anxious because I put in so much time before this tournament, like really a lot. And in the past few days, I was just ready to play. I just want to get this thing started. You know what I mean? So, yeah. After round 1 started, I've been fine. Last night I was fine. I mean, obviously I'd been doing well, but I was just anxious, I guess.
So, looking at this top 4 field, how do you feel you're positioned with your deck to get through this?
Well, I'm glad I got to be on the play. I mean, whatever. It's 4 great players with, 4 great decks. Hopefully I'll be fortunate enough to keep winning tomorrow, but we'll see.
Okay. Twice now, Player of the Day here at the Magic World Championship, but in this case, 2 out of 3 would be pretty bad. So looking to run it back again tomorrow, Huey Jensen.
All right, so here we are at the very end of day 2. We came in with 24 fantastic players. We're now down to just 4 for the individual World Championship. Of course, we've still got the team series to come, Team Masashi and Team Genesis. Maria, highlight for you so far?
Oh, it's got to be draft. We had some amazing moments both on day 1, and you just heard about it here on day 2. If you didn't check out those games, go check out the highlights because they were incredible.
And Luis, how about you?
Watching the various Search for content control decks play out is really just all I want to do in Magic.
All right, well, we get to do that tomorrow. We will begin with the team series. You'll see the best of Team Genesis against the best of Team Masashi. Then we will get into the business of claiming that trophy right there. $100,000 is on the line. That man, Josh Utter-Leyton, will be in our Final 4. That man, William Jensen, will be there. Seth Manfield, he won't be claiming a 2nd title, but Josh Utter-Leyton is right in the mix, one of our Final 4. And will we see Kelvin Chu from Singapore get past the last remaining part of the Peach Garden Oath? Dominguez, Chu, Utter-Leyton and Jensen will compete for $100,000 US. Can you believe it? No, Javier, you can't. The killer Josh Utter-Leyton ready to go, and the man who has defeated all comers. There are your Final 4. We will see you tomorrow for the Championship of the World for 2017.